Take a good look at the front end of this beast. If you thought MG was only about nimble hatchbacks and sleek electric sedans, this image is here to set the record straight. We're looking at a front fascia that demands space. The first thing that hits you is that massive, vertically oriented grille. It's finished with these intricate, chrome-tipped scales that give it a premium, almost architectural feel. Notice how the MG octagonal badge is proudly centered. It's a statement of intent. This isn't just a work truck, it's a lifestyle statement. Look at the light signature. We've moved away from the soft curves of the past. These are sharp, T-shaped, LED daytime running lights that frame the outer edges, making the truck look even wider and more planted than it already is. The main headlamp units are tucked neatly below them, creating a split light design that's very on trend for 2026. The bumper is high clearance, finished in a mix of body-colored white and rugged black plastics. It tells you that while it looks pretty, it isn't afraid of a steep approach angle or a bit of gravel. The white paint choice here, likely a pearl or Arctic white, really makes the black accents pop. Look at the hood. Those dual character lines leading from the A-pillars down to the grille add a sense of muscularity. It's got a high shoulder stance, meaning the hood sits quite high, giving the driver that commanding view of the road that pickup owners crave. This is MG moving into the tough luxury space, competing with the heavy hitters by offering a design that feels both futuristic and fundamentally rugged. 2:30 to 3 o'clock. To wrap up this first look, the front three-quarter view highlights the harmony between the blacked-out wheels and the darkened glass. It's a balanced design that feels cohesive from the ground up. In a world of boring utility vehicles, MG is clearly trying to bring some drama back to the segment. Up next, we'll see if that profile holds up the promise of the front end. The silhouette of versatility, title, proportions and the unibody aesthetic. Moving to the side profile, we get a true sense of the scale and geometry of this MG pickup. What's immediately interesting is how integrated the bed looks. In many traditional trucks, the cabin and the bed look like two separate boxes joined together. Here, the lines flow much more seamlessly. Look at the C-pillar, the pillar behind the rear doors. It has this subtle forward lean, creating a dynamic, shark-fin effect that bridges the gap between the passenger cabin and the cargo area. The proportions are classic, double cab. You've got 4 full-sized doors, suggesting that rear seat passengers aren't an afterthought. But look at the ground clearance. There is a significant gap between the tires and the wheel arches, highlighted by those chunky, matte black fender flares. These aren't just for show, they protect the bodywork from rock chips when you're off the beaten path. And running along the bottom, you'll see integrated side steps. They're slim and tucked in, so they don't ruin the aerodynamics, but they're clearly there to help you hop into that high-riding cabin. The belt line, the line where the metal meets the glass, stays relatively flat until it hits the rear door, where it kicks up slightly. This gives the truck a pouncing look, even when it's standing still. The roof line is also worth noting. It's remarkably flat and features low-profile roof rails. This suggests it's ready for overlanding gear, roof tents, or extra storage racks. It's a design that says, I can do the school run on Monday and haul a quad bike to the dunes on Saturday. Finally, notice the overhangs. The front overhang is relatively short, which is great for off-roading, while the rear bed overhang is long enough to provide a functional cargo floor. It's a long wheelbase, which usually translates to a much smoother ride on the highway compared to short wheelbase trucks. This side view confirms that MG isn't just building a ute, they're building a long-distance cruiser that happens to have a bed on the back. The foundation of performance, title, wheels, tires, and the nitty-grit. Let's get in close on the details. A truck is only as good as its foundation, and gives us a macro look at the rear wheel and suspension geometry. These aren't your standard Steelies. We're looking at a multi-spoke alloy wheel with a sophisticated, machined finish. You've got the dark gray or black inner spokes contrasted against the bright metal face. It's a complex, Y-spoke pattern that looks more like something you'd find on a performance SUV than a commercial vehicle. Look at the rubber. These tires have a decent sidewall height. For a truck like this, that's crucial. It provides an extra layer of cushioning against potholes and allows you to air down for better traction in sand or mud. The tread pattern looks like a highway terrain or all-terrain hybrid. It's aggressive enough to handle a wet field, but the blocks are close enough together to ensure you don't get that annoying humming sound when you're driving at 70 miles per hour on the freeway. Behind the wheel, you can just catch a glimpse of the braking system. In a vehicle of this size, heat dissipation is key, and these large rotors are designed to handle the weight of a fully loaded bed or a heavy trailer. Also, take note of the fender flare again. From this angle, you can see how it's squared off, rather than perfect L-circular. This boxy wheel arch is a design cue often used to emphasize ruggedness and strength. It mimics the look of heavy-duty military vehicles. Opening parenthesis. Even the small details matter here, like the MG center cap. It's the little things that remind the owner they've bought into a brand with a heritage of design. The gap in the wheel well also reveals a hint of the suspension travel. There's plenty of room for that wheel to move upward when hitting a bump without bottoming out against the bodywork. It's a reassuring sight for anyone planning to use this for more than just a grocery getter. The command center, title, tech, luxury, and the digital cockpit. Now, step inside, and this is where the MG really separates itself from the old-school pickup crowd. If I didn't tell you this was a truck, you'd swear you were sitting in a high-end electric executive car. The minimalism here is stunning. The dashboard is dominated by a massive, dual-screen, super screen setup. On the right, you have the digital driver's display showing your speed and vitals. In the center, a huge infotainment hub that's clearly running Apple CarPlay in this shot. The floating nature of the screen makes the cabin feel airy and wide. Look at the air vents. They're slim, horizontal slits integrated into a brushed metal or satin-finished trim piece that spans the entire width of the dash. It's very clean. The steering wheel is a modern, flat-bottom design, which not only looks sporty but also gives you a bit more thigh room when you're climbing in and out of the cab. You've got tactile thumb controls for your media and cruise control, keeping your eyes on the road. Check out the center console. You've got what looks like a fly-by-wire gear selector. It's more of a toggle or a joystick than a traditional lever. This frees up a ton of space for cup holders and wireless charging pads. The materials look top-notch too. We see soft-touch plastics, some contrast stitching on the dash, and what looks like premium synthetic leather on the seats. And look up, there's a massive panoramic sunroof. That's a rarity in the pickup world, and it completely changes the vibe of the interior, making it feel less like a tin box and more like a lounge. This interior proves that MG understands the modern buyer. They know that even if you're hauling timber or dirt, you still want to listen to your podcasts in a quiet, tech-forward environment. From the A-pillar grab handles to the high-definition displays, this cabin is about merging the rugged exterior with a refined interior. It's a no-compromise approach to the modern utility vehicle. Whether you're navigating a job site or a parking garage, this is a cockpit designed for the long haul.